Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back from holiday break. We are the Idle Zone Syndicate, kind of, sort of, tonight. We're a little short-handed. Things happen when you do things live, and that's to be expected. I have posted in the comments, I have the studio link to the show. So we're going to offer that to the first viewer that would like to come on and be a special guest co-host tonight. So it is in the comments.
How about
you
that?
Can see it? Yeah.
Right off the bat to start a new year.
That's how we do it.
That's how we roll.
And before we get too deep into our evening, I wanted to pass along condolences to the Kister family. They had a loss in the family they're dealing with. So we may or may not see Kiki tonight. He won't be on for a while if he is. So thoughts and prayers with them.
Yep.
John? Did you have a good holiday?
I did. We did. Valerie got sick like the day after Christmas. Had a stuffy head and she had that sinus. There's like two things going around here. I don't know about back there, but there's like two different. There's a sinus thing going around, stuffed up head, and I guess there's three. There's flu, and we didn't have the flu, but she had the stuffed up head really bad. And then I got the other one that's the chest congestion and sore throat and coughing. And I got rid of the sore throat. That only lasted a couple days, but I've been coughing since Christmas and I'm a little tired of it. So I don't have much of a voice, which is kind of why Danny's offering the co-host thing, because I don't know how long it'll hold out. And I probably need to be on the mute button for my coughing more than I am talking. So if somebody would love to come on and help Danny out, that would be awesome.
We'd love it.
Yeah. How about you? How was your Christmas?
It was Christmas.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
You always have a moment or two. I think you and I had that moment maybe the same day. I said something to you about how was your Christmas or something, and you had something going on that was pretty crappy, and that you get during Christmas time, and I had something pretty crappy too with family, and I think we both had it the same day.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But
what is the greatest time of year at times is not the greatest time of year. I think it's just, I think there's too much, man.
Yeah.
We have, I don't want to put it this way, but I don't know how else to do it. You know, the last maybe decade with our family, granted, the last decade we've lost a lot of our family, but we have tried to dumb down the holidays. I mean, we do traditional Thanksgiving, but Christmas time, we do the simplest thing we can think of for food, so that there's less cleanup and there's more time to share and just spend time together and argue and fight and other stuff. So it looks like we may have a volunteer.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe
if he's got to find his phone charger, and I'm sure that our guest is backstage like, what in the world did I get into? I mean, he knows you.
Yeah.
He's looking at me going, this dude has a Bigfoot behind him. Yes, I do have a Bigfoot behind me.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do this intro?
Go ahead.
Well, as unprepared as I am, and I hate that, Kiki's our stat guy.
He is our stat guy.
He is
That's
the stat guy.
probably should probably shouldn't be an excuse, but it is. I
It
mean,
is tonight.
we're the
It's
two
not an
old
excuse.
guys that we're the two old guys that kind of just ride the coattails of the two Kyles,
Pretty
and
much.
so Kiki's our stat guy and usually does the introduction. Uh, I guess I can give it a whirl. Uh, this young man uh, burst onto the scene, I guess, through the college ranks, made the classic through the college, made the elite series through the opens, which he got to fish because of the college, won the
College.
Bassmaster Classic, and
He's
I don't
one for
know.
two on classics.
Yeah, I don't know where his ceiling is. I think it's pretty dang high. Let's bring him on, Mr. Easton Fothergill.
How's it going, guys?
What's
How-
up, Easton? Boy, dude, you are already way ahead of us.
Hey, I'm doing my best, man. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. This is super cool.
Glad to have you, man. We are nothing like, or we try to be nothing like any other podcast or fishing show or whatever. We try not to be drama. Sometimes we get to be grouchy old men and it becomes drama. But
one of us more than the other.
There is a reason that I wore my Ted Lasso T-shirt tonight. So
There you go.
we just have to believe, man.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, the one thing I want to get across to all of the guys watching, Easton Fothergill is proof positive that if you can win a derby at Milford Lake in Kansas, you can win the world championship. There you go. I mean, I'm
not
done.
wrong.
That's
I
all
mean,
I have.
so before I forget or lose my voice, my one question for Easton is: do you know what Easton Fothergill, Tucker Smith, and Cody Huff all have in common?
I don't.
They're Elite Series anglers. There's three things. They fish the College Series, and they all fished a bracket on Milford Lake.
I
There
didn't
you
know Cody did too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Cody did
Interesting.
too. Cody fished the year that Nick Ratliff won.
Huh.
Nolan Minor. That was a pretty exciting bracket as well.
So Cody made 2 brackets then. That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Wow.
He
Wow.
did. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
That's our so Milford Lake has got to be probably your favorite lake of all time in history. Correct.
I mean, that's probably a little bit of a stretch, but no, I enjoyed my time there. I mean, I didn't catch any real big ones all week, but plenty of numbers. I was definitely busy all week.
Yeah.
Milford makes the Sabine look like peacock bass fishing in Central America.
People don't give Sabine credit it deserves. Sabine's got a lot of fish, just lacking in size, a lot like Milford. So, but
Yeah.
Milford definitely makes Sabine look very good. That's for sure.
Oh man.
I enjoyed your article on Bassmaster this week about mental preparation, off season, and stuff like that. And this is kind of a strange thing maybe to share, but this morning when I was making the post to advertise the show tonight, The very first person that commented on it was Rick Clunn.
That's pretty cool.
And he said, good kid. So right off the bat, you get a good kid from the master. So, it's all gravy after that, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, he's, one of the best to ever do it. So to have kind words from him, that means a lot to me, so that's super cool. I did not see that, but yeah, that is awesome. Rick Clunn is someone I look up to for sure.
We've had him on the show a couple times. And he did one of his, I forget what the name of the tour is, but his
Legacy tour.
Tour, yes. One of the stops on his Legacy tour last year was at John's place at the Lake Lodge. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
That's cool.
So how was your Christmas, Ethan? What do you do anything? Do you have any traditions that your family does that you do every single year? What's your Christmas like?
I guess I've been living in the South now for the last 5 years, and obviously I fly back to Minnesota for Christmas. That's where all my family's at, so I do that every year. And Christmas for us is pretty chill. Just hang out. My grandparents come over and, sit down and watch football and watch NBA and just have good family time. So that's really all our Christmas looks like. But yeah, it is super, super good for me to get to see my family. I've moved away from home to pursue the fishing game. And, I don't get to see them nearly as much as I used to. So Christmas is still a pretty special time for me in that sense.
Where are you living now?
I'm in Clanton, Alabama right now. I'm 15 minutes from Lay Lake, so right near the Coosa River.
Cool.
Do you like Lay Lake better or Mitchell Lake better?
It depends on the day. It depends if I want to go get bites or if I want to go get a big one.
Yeah.
Mitchell's the numbers lake. Lay, you can go get some big ones. So it all depends on the mood. If I'm trying to test out new baits or whatever I'm trying to do, but I like them both.
Do you try to fish? Are you fishing every day? Do you fish most days, and do you fish tournaments? Do you just go fishing?
I do fish. I try to fish as much as I possibly can. I don't know. I would say on average it's 4 to 5 days a week. The days I'm not fishing, I'm organizing my boat, cleaning my boat. It's always something fishing related. I'm completely consumed with it. But I do still fish a lot of small tournaments around on the Coosa. I think that's important, at least for me, to stay sharp. When trying to get prepared for the Elite Series season. But yeah, if I'm not, prepping for a tournament, I'm out there trying to get confidence in a new bait, or just trying new baits I've never thrown, or just something like that. Just always making sure I'm learning, and yeah, just making sure I'm confident in every aspect of the game.
When you're trying a new bait, how do you go about? Like, I have a real problem. Like, I stink at live scope. I'm terrible, but I'm trying to learn it. But I have a real problem with discipline when I get out there, sticking with it. Like I just want to fish.
Mhm.
I just want to catch a fish. I want to catch a fish, not necessarily fish. I want to catch a fish. And when I'm not good at something, I tend to, forget about it after a little while and go do what I normally do. So I imagine when you're trying out a new bait, how do you do that? What's your process?
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways to go about it. One, you can go to a place, your favorite spot or whatever it is, whether it's a current seam or a hump, it's got fish, whatever it may be. If you have a spot that has fish, what I've done is I take literally everything out of my boat except this one bait that I want to learn. And that forces me, I'm on the water, I got this one bait, I got to go make it work. And, you can apply it to different situations, and it really, forces you to learn the ins and outs of that bait. Or, you can, like, say, you got a school or you're trying to learn like live scope in your sense, you'll throw a bait you're confident in, and those fish get a bite. Okay, they're bass. And then that's when you pick up the bait that you're trying to learn and watch, how those fish react to your bait or, that sort of thing. So, I mean, there's many different ways to do it, but the way I've done it is, I completely take everything out of my boat and other than the thing I'm trying to learn is the way that works best for me because I'm very scatterbrained. If I don't do that, I have 20 rods on my deck and I'm throwing all of them all day long. Like, I can't like hone in on one bait. So that's kind of what I have to do in order to make sure that I learn what I'm trying to learn.
And how often would you say you do that? That seems like a lot to take everything out of your boat. You know, maybe
I
your
mean,
boat's maybe your boat's not as chock full of every thousand different baits like mine is just piled in there. It's probably way more organized than mine. But
yeah, I mean, I think this was even more of a thing in college when I was still, when I first made the move south, there's lots of stuff that was foreign to me. I think this was a much bigger deal then. Now there's very few baits that I feel like I can't like pick up and, start applying it correctly. So I think it was a thing, like I said, when I first moved down, but, still there's times where, a new bait will come out, like, all these crazy baits that are coming out now and that sort of thing. There's always something to learn. So if something, I come across like, hey, this could work here, then, then I feel like I have to do it. So, but yeah, it definitely doesn't happen as much as it did before.
let's talk about your first year. Was it everything that you dreamed it would be?
I mean, yeah, I mean, just
More,
to go ahead.
or was it more? Was there things that you thought, man, I didn't think that it would be like this, or more
Uh,
work than you thought? You know, whatever.
I mean, it was probably everything that I thought it would be and more. The biggest thing for me was to get to meet all the guys I've looked up to and get to shake their hand and actually make friendships with them. That's the thing that was my most favorite part of my rookie season was, I have all these guys that I've watched since I was a kid, in my contact list now. I can call them whenever I want. Like, that's the coolest part to me is building these friendships with all these top guys in the sport. And that was the biggest eye opener for me is it all just boils down to just everyone's just like me. There's dudes that like to fish. That's all they are. Like they're not, these crazy people that you make them seem like they are. At least I did when I was growing up. Like they always seemed just so far out of reach for me when I was growing up. Like they were just like, wow, like that's KVD, that's
Yeah,
Polinick,
they're on a
like you know
pedestal.
what I mean? So it's cool to realize that they're just normal dudes, good dudes that just love to fish. So that was the biggest thing for me. And with that, the competitive level, at least on the elites, I'm sure it's the same on every circuit. It's just these guys are so good, and it's unbelievable how hard they work at it. There's a reason why all these anglers are here. There's a reason why they're at the top level. So it's just super cool for me to see how passionate everyone is, and just yeah, just we're all striving for the same goal. We want to win. So just really cool to have a combination of competing, and then now I've built a bunch of friendships that I'm able to compete with. So it's been a great experience for me.
Do you have a core group that you hang out with? There's a lot of talk of teams and guys that room together, hang out, run things by. Do you have a core group?
Yeah, so last year I ran with Dakota Eber. Me and him have grown to be super close friends. He's someone I've looked up to, the last couple of years for sure. He made a great career for himself on MLF, and then he made the jump to Bassmaster. And yeah, he's someone I've been following a long time. So, for us to build that friendship and all that has been super cool for me. And, we did work a little bit together last year. It's not like, we don't give each other all of our spots, but we're just like, hey, caught a couple on chatterbait today. And hey, they're on a drop shot. Just, basic stuff like that to kind of steer each other in the right direction. And with that, really close friends with Wesley Gore. He actually lives like 200 yards through the woods from where I'm at right now. Like I live next door to him. Jay Shakira is another one of my best friends. And like I said, I'm growing a friendship with basically everyone on tour, it seems like. So, but those are just a few to name that, I'm closest with as of now.
Anything that you didn't expect, like I didn't see that coming, or anything like that, your first year?
I mean, just how I guess I learned a lot about myself and what it takes to compete at this level. I mean, my first two events was kind of the eye opener for me. I was last in AOI going into the classic, so that was kind of the eye opener for me. Like, for one, I got to get my stuff together, and two, just I took a mental reset for me to realize, what the correct headspace is for me to compete at the level that I want to compete in. So there was a lot of internal learning for me that went on the rookie season. But overall, the competitiveness and just Bassmaster as a whole and everything, it's been everything I hoped and dreamed it would be. So, but yeah, there was a lot of learning inside my own mind that was kind of the biggest thing for me.
When you did that mental reset, you know, how what was that process? How did you get through that? What did you think you needed to do, and what'd you do?
So when I was driving back from Okeechobee, I had two awful finishes. For one, Polinick called me and kind of walked me through, like, hey, you're going to have these highs and lows. And he really, kind of walked me through just how to approach everything kind of thing. And, that was super eye-opening for me. And we kind of talked out, he asked me what I think I did wrong, and I told him, and, we just kind of talked it out. But I came to a realization before I called him that I called it, I fished scared. I knew what I was doing during the week was wrong, and I failed to make the adjustment to, correct that. And I feel like that's usually one of my strong suits, is having an extremely open mind and just kind of really going on the fly and not having any preconceived notions or none of that. So that's why I was kind of really upset driving back. I was just like, man, I know better than to do that. And what I did was I went on Lay Lake, Mitchell, just all the local lakes around here, and told myself from now until the classic, I'm going to catch as many bass as I possibly can, just to get that, out of my brain, go to where I know how to catch some fish. And yeah, that was exactly what I did. I got mad at them. I fished every day. Just, I caught as many bass as I possibly could, doing all kinds of different techniques. And, it just, over time, I think I had like 2 or 3 weeks between that last event and the classic. I was just able to rebuild my confidence, a little bit every day. And, by the time the classic came around, I felt like I was kind of back in the groove of things a little bit.
It's kind of
Awesome.
interesting. Sorry to butt in there.
No, you're good.
I just observe things and note them when I observe them. I just happen to think to look. A year ago tonight, our guest was Brandon.
Wow.
That's weird. That's a little bit weird. And another observation, much of what he shared with us that night was about the mental aspect, and he was trying to reset himself after a disappointing season. So it's kind of cool how these things parallel up like that. Please continue. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Well, switching it up, we'll go to we do this live so that our viewers can ask a question live. Jack Graves, I'm assuming, is going to go to Fork in mid-April. Jack's asking, mid-April, is that a good time to go catch some big bass on a Nico rig? And
I mean,
he's a no boater, so he's going to be out of the back anyway. Maybe share a Nico rig tip or two. How do you rig it? Your favorite?
yeah, I mean, to answer your question, there's never a bad time to throw a Nico. I mean, it's one of the best bite getting baits that I've ever discovered. So by far my biggest confidence bait. Throwing it out of the back of the boat, I would try to, throw it any kind of, I'm assuming you're gonna be near some sort of a structure, whether it's timber or grass or anything, just try to throw at anything your angler in the front may miss. Or, if he's doing, if say he's throwing something really heavy, like a heavy 3/4 ounce jig, I'm gonna throw a light Nico, just something that differs from your boater, that may pick up a bite that he didn't, that sort of thing. But yeah, to answer your question, a Nico will get bit, 365. So, but yeah, just the biggest thing with a Nico is you start throwing it and then you'll get bites, I promise.
That's
Awesome.
that's probably a bait I need to throw more too. So what is he's asking what your favorite setup for a Nico rig is.
The all around my favorite setup is just your traditional finesse worm. I like the 6.5 inch striking. That's the one that I tend to go to. Usually just start with a green pumpkin, unless you get, kind of a stained water. That's when I go to like the red bug I use at the classic, or, maybe like a June bug type of thing. But, I keep my colors fairly basic, usually pretty natural colors, like I said, a green pumpkin tint. Usually a 3/32 ounce weight. That's usually what I start with, and then I'll go up or down from there. But a 3/32 seems to be the most universal weight for a Nico. But yeah, just either you put an O-ring on it, or I like the G-Crack Nico hack. That's another thing. It all depends on which worm you choose or which bait. But yeah, just put your hook through your O-ring. I like the Ryugi Talisman, usually number one or a 1/0. But yeah, that's kind of my basic setup. Usually throw it on 8 pound braid to a 10 or 12 pound leader. That also will vary depending on water clarity and if I'm around structure. But yeah, that's kind of the basics on where I start with the Nico, and I'll alter it where needed. But yeah.
Very good.
A lot of info in a short burst.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. Um, let's talk about the classic a little bit. Don't want to get negative, but you experienced some negativity, which I think is totally unwarranted. We think on this show it's totally unwarranted. You do what you do. Uh, how did you handle that? Do you watch social media? Do you not look at it at all? Do you and a lot of, and not just for the classic, but all you guys that fish at the highest level have this from time to time. These keyboard warriors or whatever that just get on there and start chattering. How do you handle that?
I mean, me personally, I hardly ever go on social media unless I'm going to make a post. So I really don't see much of that. But I mean, the way I look at it, if people are talking, you're doing something right. So, I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it.
The world needs
Um,
haters.
that's right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen most of it. I obviously, when you go on social, you're going to see some of it. It's everywhere. But yeah, I do my best to stay off social and just go fishing, and I just do whatever it takes that I feel to succeed. Just follow the rules and just do what I need to do. And yeah, that's kind of how I roll. And you know, the rules change, we'll change with it. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I guess. But no, I don't go on social and just be reading through comments or nothing like that. I don't do none of that. So, do my best to stay off of it.
Wise. Me too. I try to stay off of it as much as possible. Um,
You
is
know,
there? Oh, go ahead, Danny.
well, I was just going to add that, with AI and stuff becoming more and more prevalent, man, you don't know what you've really got to study something sometimes. Is that real or is it AI or scary stuff, honestly?
I mean, I think half the comments and stuff you see are fake. I don't even think a lot of them are real people.
I,
A
Yeah,
lot of
I
times.
would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So,
yeah. Chat bots or whatever you call them.
yep.
Yeah. There. So, is there somebody that you have met since you won the classic that you always wanted to meet? Have you an athlete? Did you get to meet? Have you ever met Kevin Van Dam? You brought him up earlier. Uh, you know, I heard him talking about you, so I know he knows who you are. Have you met him?
Yeah, I've met him since the classic, I've met him a couple different times now, and yeah, it's been super cool experience for me. He's even given me some insight and just how to kind of carry myself and handle everything. So super cool coming from him. Another athlete that I met, it was at the St. Clair event. I met Travis Pastrana, so that
Mhm.
was
Oh,
super
cool.
cool. He came up and congratulated me. I was talking to someone, he tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around and he was standing there. So that was super cool for me. I watched him a bunch as a kid.
Mhm.
I got an uncle that's super into motocross and everything that he does. So super cool for to meet him. And yeah, I mean, just there's plenty more too, but yeah, that's the first couple that came to mind. So just insanely cool.
Yeah. What about this year? The season? Are you ready? Are you? How are you? Where are you at in your preparation for this year? Got all your sponsors and your boat and all that lined out, ready to go, or are you one of these guys that are going to be waiting, getting stuff right up to the very end?
So last year with me qualifying so late, obviously I qualified through the Opens last year. I was kind of forced to do everything right at the last minute. Like I literally got my boat wrap done last year and I left for practice the next day. And that was beyond stressful for me. So I told myself this year I'm going to do my best to be done by Christmas. And I got my jerseys done, everything done. My boat was wrapped before Christmas. I've been basically done since like the third week of December. So that's felt super good. And I've just kind of been fishing and just making sure I'm getting ready. I've done some pre-practice at both Gunnersville and Martin, the first two events of the season. And I just got my shipment of new rods and reels from Lew's and a bunch of striking stuff. So now I'm getting that organized and just making sure that everything's completely dialed before the season starts. But everything that needs to be done has been done, and it feels really good.
Good.
I wish I could say that.
Me too.
I'm not ready. I got a ways to go though. Is there any particular venue that you're really looking forward to this year, or not looking forward to this year?
uh, there's there's not really one I'm not looking forward to. I really like the schedule. I think it's super diverse, which is I think what most anglers want. We all
Mhm.
we ask for is a diverse schedule.
Mhm.
We don't want all herring fisheries or all rivers or nothing like that. We just want a different place or a different lake every time we go to off to an event. So I think Bassmaster did a great job at accomplishing that. As far as lakes, I'm excited to go to. Being a northern guy, it's hard not to say the Champlain, St. Lawrence's, but also a lake like Murray. I'm really excited for Murray. And also Gunnersville. I love fishing grass. So I mean that right there is half the schedule. So I'm just excited to go fish and continue to build friendships and just go compete. So I'm just can't wait.
And what do you think about the one on, one off deal? What do you
I mean,
think? What do
I
you
don't
think it's
think
going to do to the? Do you think it's going to make a difference in the AOI standings this year?
I don't think it'll make a difference in AOI. I think it's time on the water is what you know allows people to succeed and not succeed. But no one really knows. Time will tell. But yeah, I mean, and I'm looking forward to it. There's no telling whether it'll hurt or help viewership. We'll have to do it for a year or two to see how it does with that. But no, I think most anglers are excited for a little bit of a change. See, just how it all shakes out. Honestly, it's just a little bit of a trial and error. I think Bassmaster's doing to see where to go moving forward. So
Mhm.
I don't think there's too much complaining going on about it. We're all just ready to have a little bit of a new format and go fishing.
I mean, that's good. I mean, you said there's not. I mean, you're in the inside the loop of all the anglers. You hear the scuttlebutt and the chatter, and when you say there's not too much complaining going on, that's a plus in itself. In the last few years, there has been a lot of
Drama,
you know
drama, drama.
drama, chatter, and I think us as fans, I'm happy to hear that you're not hearing too much drama within the ranks, and that you guys are just wanting to go fish, and that's what we want as fans. We want to see everybody fish, and I personally want to see an angler of the year that has to has to be good at everything,
Hmm.
and that's what me as a fan wants, and I imagine that's what you as an angler want as well.
Correct. And yeah, I mean, there's always going to be, and it happens in every sport. There's going to be a couple of complainers, and then you have your quiet ones that just want to go out and do their job. I mean, that's the case in every single sport. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's the biggest thing. Like I said, we all wanted was just a diverse schedule, and that'll do exactly what you just said. Is the most diverse or well-rounded angler will win AOI. So I think that's the best way to do that, and we got that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, we're all super excited. We just want to go fish, so we can't
Yep.
wait.
I think Tucker Smith, um, he's had a lot of chatter, that he's just a scoper. Well, I mean, he proved them wrong, didn't he? For at the last event, the big event he fished. So, to me, I think that was huge. I think that was a great a great deal, and I think this year is going to be an exciting year for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker just goes to show exactly what I just said, that he probably fishes more than almost all of us.
He's
There's
part fish. He's part fish.
yeah, right,
I don't know if you
exactly.
know that, but he's part fish.
He's just absolutely consumed by it, just like a lot of us are. I mean, that's
Mm,
what he does. He fishes. So,
yep.
I mean, that it just proves my point. Like it's time on the water over everything that will make you rise to the top. So, but yeah, I mean, it'll be a good season. I really don't see much change in AOI or who's going to win or who's not going to win. It's all about who puts the work in, just like in any sport or anything in life. So,
Yep. I
That's 3 for 3, John, on that question.
what?
Basically the same answer.
Hmm.
Looking at the last 3 Elite Series guests we've had,
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's good to
Absolutely.
hear. I'm glad you brought that up because, man, sometimes it's like everything there for about 6 months straight was negative. I mean, it didn't even matter who won. Everybody was complaining about this or that, and it turns you off, turns people off, and I second that. I am glad to hear there's no complaining. Have a fun season. Get back
I
to
mean,
catch.
that's what it's all about. It's just having fun. We're
Hmm.
fishing. I don't know what there is to complain about. We literally get to go fish. So, that's kind of where
Right.
I'm at.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, it is work at the level that you're fishing. It is a job, and you have to do a good job, but it's still fishing. I mean, it's still fishing.
Right.
It's like football. I mean, those guys work their tails off and get beat up every Sunday or whatever or Saturday. It's still a game. In
Right.
the end, it's a game, and
Yep.
more power to the guys that can do it the best, like you. Um, if there was a, is there a technique that you don't like to do? Like, not your favorite? You'll do it if you have to, but for me, like right now, and you guys don't have to worry about this because it's not legal. But for me, it's the A rig. Can't stand it. But right now, if I'm not throwing it on Grand Lake, I'm not even it, close to getting a check if I'm not throwing it.
Hmm.
Period. End of story. And I hate that. I mean, I can throw a jerk bait and try, but it's there on the A rig. I mean, I went yesterday and caught 4 or 5 on it, and I didn't catch any the last 3 or 4 years because I refused to throw it, and now and so I finally started throwing it, and I caught them. Is there anything like that for you?
I mean, my dad has told me from a young age that my strength better not be any technique. My strength better be versatility. So that's kind of where I'm at. If there's a bait that I feel like I'm not good at, I do exactly what we talked about earlier. Like I'm gonna make sure I get good at it, and I'll drop everything and make sure I'm good at it because I know better than to be like, oh, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing this. Like it's our job to do what it takes to succeed. So there's really not a bait that I don't like. As long as I'm getting bit, I'm a happy camper. So that's where I'm at. I'll do whatever it takes. As long as I'm catching fish, I'm happy.
How do you know when to change lures? Like if you're going down a bank or you're on a hump or something, and there's fish there. How long do you determine to stick with a single bait or go to something else?
I mean, it's trial and error to a certain point, but a lot of it's conditional, whether there's wind or it's flat, calm, sunny, cloudy, rainy, whatever it is. If it's cloudy and windy, I'll throw a reactionary bait of some sort. If it's sunny and calm, maybe I'll be skipping a Senko or something like that, a little bit more finessey. I let the conditions kind of, tell me where to start, and then I'll go from there, a little bit of trial and error. Just kind of what I feel like will be the best for that given situation. But yeah, definitely let the conditions talk to you and then just go from there.
So you don't have a system like, I'm going to throw this crankbait for 10 casts, and then I'm going to pick up this other one for 10 casts, and then I'm going to, this is what I do. This is what I play games with myself to make myself, because again, I get in a rut. Like I'll catch a few fish on a Fritz side 5. And if I'm not careful, I'll throw that dang thing 1,000 casts and still have only caught 2 fish. So I got to make myself, okay, 10 casts, and then I'm going to pick up a little bit deeper diving crankbait, or I'm going to pick up the dang A rig or whatever.
Right.
You don't have to do that, do you?
No, for me, it's all, gut feelings and that sort of thing. When you get a feeling to change, you get that feeling for a reason. It's your job to listen to it. So
I
it's
have
just all
gotten
about,
better. I have gotten better at doing that over the years. Like making myself, as soon as it pops into my head that I ought to throw a spinnerbait,
you better do it immediately.
I pick up a spinnerbait.
Or when you're flying down the lake and that laydown, pops at you for a reason, or that dock, that dock looks really good. There's a reason you're like, man, that dock looks good. That happens for a reason. So it's your job to just be able to take in those thoughts and, kind of roll with it.
Yep. Are you a faith guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, so that reason, that feeling you get, do you believe it's more than a feeling or somebody guiding you?
Oh, it's someone guiding you 100%. Yeah. Ever since all that stuff happened shortly before I stayed with you at Grand, that was kind of like the wow moment of my life, that, it's much beyond me that's going on. And, it's everything that happened, for me to get to where I'm at, there's a lot more happening behind the scenes than just, me. So it's been pretty cool for me to live through, his story.
So there may be somebody watching that hasn't, I doubt it, but hasn't heard your story. So why don't you quickly tell us that story a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, not to go too in depth. It was August of 23. I was fishing a college national championship, Pickwick Lake. Started having headaches, and they just progressed and progressed and progressed, worse and worse and worse. Ended up going to the hospital. Found a mass on my brain. First with CT scan, and then they hauled me by ambulance up to Birmingham, where they did MRI. They found an abscess in my brain. Had brain surgery. Spent a week in the hospital, moved home to Minnesota after that for 2 weeks. Somehow made it to the Milford College Classic bracket. Just 3.5 weeks after I had brain surgery. Then somehow won that event. And that's how I got into the 2024 Opens. Had an insane Opens year, won 2 Opens, won Opens Angler of the Year, qualified for Elite Series, qualified for the 2025 Classic. Fished my first Classic in 24 as a college kid. And yeah, qualified for the Elites, fished 25 Classic, win that Classic, have a pretty good rookie year on the Elite Series. And yeah, here we are going to year 2 already. So that's just a 10,000 foot view on what my last 2 years has looked like, but it's been quite the whirlwind. And, it's crazy because every dream that I wrote up as a kid has come true in the last 2 years. So, like, literally every dream that I could have ever dreamt has come true for me. So, it's been pretty wild.
So before you had all that happen to you, uh, did you rely on faith more or as much?
Not
You think?
not as much before that. I mean, I've always been a believer, but ever since that happened, that was like it was like holy cow, like this there's so much more that's happening here, and that's when it was completely obvious to me what that there's just it's not
There's
me doing it, it's him.
and there's a plan.
There is a plan. Yep.
He has a plan. That's amazing. Um, so you fished the classic as a college student the first time. How was that classic
I mean,
for
that
you?
classic that was I mean, I was completely starstruck. I mean, you probably saw me at your place there. Like, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just like,
Mm,
holy cow. Like, Pat Schlapper, Matt Airy, they're right there. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm staying next to them.
mhm.
And yeah, I just kind of kept to myself. Looking back, I wish I would have branched out a little bit more. I'm an extremely shy person, so it takes a little while for me to open up to people. But yeah, it was just crazy for me to be around, that caliber of angler. Little did I know, what would happen in the future. But yeah, I was just doing my best to take it all in at the time and just, I was just telling myself, like, you may not do this again, take it all in, but do your best kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, I had a good event. I made championship Sunday. I think I got 15th, 16th place. I got 16th. So had a good event. Caught him flipping a jig and throwing a jerk bait. So it was really fun fishing for me. But yeah, just a lifelong experience I'll never forget.
And then, so moving forward to the next classic, how do you think your experience at the first classic helped you through that classic?
Uh, there's looking back, there's no way I would have won the Ray Roberts Classic if I hadn't to fish that classic at Grand. It just taught me so much about how to manage all the media, manage your time. Because the classic week, you're literally busy from dark to dark. You have no time to do your rods, you even hardly have time to eat. Like, you're literally busy dark to dark every single day. So just learning how to manage everything and just learning how to keep your mind in the right headspace kind of thing. There's just a lot of learning that went on the first classic that I was able to take into the second classic and be much more prepared on, just know what it takes to stay in the zone and just stay focused, which is really hard to do classic week. So, but yeah, definitely would have never happened if that was my first classic.
Yeah, I don't think the average person or fan realize what goes on behind the scenes at a classic. How
I
late
mean,
how late you're up. You have Night of Champions, you have sponsor, requirement. You sponsored, you know, Bass does a good job about not, maybe only having one night that they keep you out. But then you have sponsor obligations, and I'm sure Yamaha had a dinner. I'm sure Skeeter and
yep,
Yamaha have dinners, and then all the anglers, the Mercury guys have dinners. You know, and they're out. You're out late, and And most classics, the venue is not close to where you're staying. So you're up super early. At 3 in the morning, you're getting up and you're not getting back till 10 or 11 at night, so
Yeah, so quick story about that. So at Ray Roberts, I chose just to actually stay at the lake because I didn't want to risk, a blowout or something the morning, going to the ramp. So I chose to stay at the lake. And, day two, Bassmaster knew I mean, everyone knew I was on live, knew I had a giant bag, so they held me till the end. And I weigh my bag, I take the lead of the classic. I weigh in at like 9 o'clock at night and weigh in, and then they take me to the media room, do a bunch of media stuff, and then I have sponsor reviews, or I mean, interviews. And I finally get out to the boatyard. I look at my phone. It's almost 11 o'clock. I'm an hour and a half from my house. I still have to get gas. I mean, I didn't get to the house until almost 1 in the morning, and I still haven't touched a rod. Like
mm,
I still got to rig rods. So then I'm frantically like rigging rods as fast as I can. And I ended up sleeping like an hour and a half that night going into the final day of the classic. I mean, as the angler leading the classic, you don't even feel it because you're on that much adrenaline. Like I didn't know I was tired, and like I felt completely ready to go. But looking back, it was just, I mean, that's just a brief example of what it feels like or what we go through in a classic week. And just with that, it's just so hard to stay focused and to do your job.
how many days did you sleep after, or when did you sleep after you won?
I mean, after I won, the adrenaline probably lasted about 3 days, and then I crashed.
Yeah.
But once I finally was able to go to sleep, I slept a good while, and yeah, I mean, still just crazy,
So,
still hard to
so
believe.
one thing you probably don't know that they used to do that they don't do anymore, thank God. Uh, they used to have a photo shoot with live fish the next morning after you won. So, and I'm trying to think when the last one was that we did that. Uh, it might have been the last Huntersville. So we would the actual like your bag of fish that you weighed in on the final day, we would keep in the live release boat or in the fisheries truck overnight, and the angler would have to be up the next morning at like 8 o'clock, and they would go to the lake and they would do a live shoot with fish and fish catches and
I'm telling you right now, if I did that, my face would have been gray. I would have looked dead on camera the day after the classic.
yeah, that was back in those were every year. Gerald Crawford, uh, fishing fans will know who Gerald Crawford is. He's a photographer.
Mhm.
Him and Overstreet, and one of those two guys would go out the next morning and direct a photo shoot.
Wow, those poor cameramen.
Yeah, yeah, uh,
That's crazy.
that is crazy. He used to do a lot of stuff that we don't do anymore. They don't do anymore.
Hmm. Wow.
All right, so do you have goals? Do you set goals every year? And if so, what are your goals for this year?
My next big goal is to win AOI. That's kind of what I'm working towards now. Obviously, I want to win more classics. They say after you win one, you want to win more, even worse, which is definitely true. But I really want an AOI. So
Kind of
that's my,
relate that to the Frank Stone event that we have here.
yeah, yeah.
We have this charity event that we put on every year. Frank Stone Memorial. And somebody on this screen has won the last two in a row.
Hmm.
And another guy on this screen has not fished the last two in a row.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's kind of
Coincidence?
and the one guy that's not one guy that's not on here tonight, he lost his grandma, and again, sorry for that, Kiki. He's won a couple of them, and so it's kind of a deal between me and him.
That's
And
awesome.
Kyle Crank is my partner, who's also not on here. Uh,
And there's no money involved in this.
oh no,
It's a benefit.
why would there be any money involved? I
They're
mean,
Yeah, we're all
we
competitors.
I won.
literally killing each other over a donated
I mean,
swag prize.
cornhole boards with 2025 champion on it is what I won.
Heck
They're
yeah.
right outside the door right now. Anyway, I digress. So AOI. So that begs the question that every angler gets asked: what's more important, Angler of the Year or Bassmaster Classic?
It's funny because career-wise, I think the classic is definitely more beneficial. It sets you up greater for, your career and sponsorships and everything. But I think every angler would agree that AOI is much more difficult to achieve and to win. So
I
it's
wonder
just
why that is, that it's not, because I think everybody agrees that
Mhm.
the AOI is the ultimate, like, well-rounded. I mean, it's like winning the Heisman, right?
Mhm.
Of our sport. It's like winning the Heisman. And so why is it not as prestigious as a classic win, sponsorship wise, stuff like that?
I don't know, but it's always been that way. Like
Mhm.
I know almost all the classic champs, I feel like, but I don't know near all the AOI champs. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's always been that way, and I don't really know why that is, but yeah, it's really interesting.
I can tell you who gave the longest AOI speech in history.
I think I know who. I've heard stories. I wasn't present, but I heard.
Scott Canterbury. Love the guy to death. That was a long speech. I mean, like 2 hours long. Yes.
I don't know if I've talked 2 hours worth in my lifetime.
Wow.
Well, I mean, how long do you think your AOI speech will be?
Hmm.
I think I'd be pretty good if I went for 10, 15 minutes.
Nice.
I
I'm
think that'd
making
be
note of this.
that'd be a good performance for me if I was able to do that.
When do you think you'll do that? This year?
I'm shooting for this year. I'm doing my best. We'll see.
Okay. Is there one on the schedule? You said that there's no really. There's several that you want to go to. Is there one that got you a little worried about? One, Tom Bigby.
No, I'm gonna say maybe I'm gonna say Arkansas River or Santee maybe.
Huh?
Just because
Why?
I know the Arkansas River floods a lot, so that means a lot of changing conditions possibly.
When are you going to Arkansas River?
I want to
That's
say April sometime. I think
in
April.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see.
that's a very possible up and down that time of year. What about Santee? Why is
Santee is just vast and massive, and I didn't have a that was my worst opens finish in 2024. And it's completely on me. I think I know what I did wrong, but yeah, I mean, part of me is that's like I'm half worried about it, but part of me, I want revenge, so that's like I'm really excited for it. So
I mean, the last time you wanted revenge, you did pretty well.
yeah, so
Last
we'll
time you
see.
got mad, you did pretty well.
Yeah, it seems like when I can find a little extra motivation, it works
Mhm.
out. So we'll make it happen there.
Do you, if you're not feeling motivated, do you make up stuff like the great Michael Jordan used to make up stories about that somebody else would say. Like they didn't even say it. He just made it up that they say it to start like a trash talk going to motivate himself. You do that?
I don't think I make up stories. I think I'm just wired to be like over the top competitive. Like I don't think he knows this, but Kyle Patrick, if he drives by me, I'm instantly upset and mad and want to win. Like we talk about that, every once in a while, just how competitive we both are. But literally, if I see him on the lake, I'm like instantly like 110%. Like I'm on go mode. Like I'm,
Like like where's he going?
I mean, not even that. It's just like I'm instantly just if I'm like happy and like having a good time, if I see him drive by, I'm like instantly like I like hit another gear almost. And it's only him that does that to me, so it's really funny.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, but no, I don't make like stories in my head, but I mean, it's honestly bad how competitive I am. So I'm just wired that way. I just hate losing. So I don't think I have to make stories, so to say, but I definitely hate losing. And I think that's kind of what drives this whole thing.
Yeah. I think that's a big I mean it's competition like anything else. I mean this sport. I mean we touched down it a little bit when we were joking around about the Frank Stong tournament, but it's true. It's so true that there's something about this bass fishing sport that there doesn't have to be anything on the line. I mean, how many I don't know about you, but when I go fishing with just buddies, I mean, they know when they get in my boat, it's $1 on the first fish, $1 on the most fish, and $1 on the biggest fish. And we're not going to let each other, you know, live it down if you don't win any money that
Yeah,
day.
I mean, my team partner, if I contributed like a 4 pounder in the box and he catches like a 4.5 to contribute, then I'm upset. Like he caught a bigger one than me. Like, I got to one up my own team partner. Like that's kind of how I roll. So that's kind of, you know, an insight onto how my mind works. Like I'm literally everything I can pick to be competitive on, and I do it just because I hate losing in every aspect.
If you weren't a bass fisherman, what would you be doing?
You stole my question.
I'm sorry. My,
Uh,
my voice seems to be getting a little better.
That's all right. That's
You
all
were
right.
counting on me not being able to talk, and I'm talking.
I'd probably be some sort of a product designer for a fishing company. I think I would love designing lures, fishing rods, that sort of thing. I feel like I have a super creative mind, and I think I'd do fairly well on that. Um, but definitely somewhere in the fishing industry. I don't think I could ever leave the industry. It's what I do.
Would you focus on soft plastics or hard baits or both?
Probably both, but I think plastics is so saturated. If I could go way outside the box on some hard baits, I think it would gain some traction.
Hmm.
So,
What about these dice baits? Are they the deal?
I mean, it's situational, just like every other lure in your tackle box. But yeah, I mean, when it's on, they definitely work. You just gotta know when and where to apply it.
Do you ever catch them like going down the bank, flipping out a laydown
Oh, all the time. That's what I did all day today. I swam a jig on the Kusa all day today
with a fuzzy dice bait?
with a half-ounce swim jig.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty popular there.
It is.
Pretty popular.
It's extremely fun. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah. I wish you were here at Grand Lake where I mean this lake is amazing and I don't think it gets enough love. I heard Luke Duncan a few weeks ago call it a gar hole, and he's out of his ever loving mind if he thinks this is a gar hole. Uh, I mean, the fishing is amazing right now. I run this little jackpot series, winter series, and it's all the big sticks on the lake fish it. But Saturday, they whacked them 26 pounds to win. 24 was second. You didn't get it. 22 was third. 22 was fourth. 21 was fifth. You didn't have 20, you weren't getting a check.
That's
And
pretty cool.
it'll be that way all winter. All the way up till June. It'll be that way. You better have 24 or 25 if you want to win a tournament.
That's
I just
awesome.
don't think it gets enough love on the national. I think it's all timing. You know, I think there's been some bad timing on Bassmaster events. But I mean, and I guess what you can use, like I said, they're all catching them on A rig right now. But you know, I think if you could have thrown an A rig in the classic, 25 a day they would have taken 25 a day, probably. I don't know, maybe not.
Definitely could have. I know I enjoyed my time there. I'd like to go back.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love the lake. What else you got, Danny? No, you got some. Did I steal them all? I didn't steal them all, did I?
No.
Okay.
I was going to be prepared more so than normal because I usually take the back seat, and John and Kyle do most of the interviewing, and I chime in with a little tidbit here and there. I was just curious. What about the trend and the new showcase events like Ultimate Angler? What are your thoughts on that? And do you see that getting bigger?
I mean, I definitely see it getting bigger. For Ultimate Angler for the state of Alabama to come up with that funding for an event like that is pretty awesome. So I've been curious to see if a state like, Texas or someone, jumps on board with that, another state that's really big into fishing, just to showcase their fisheries kind of thing. That would be super cool. And, for anglers, it's super cool to jump into an event like that. You're not worrying about points or anything like that. It's, fairly low stress other than your entry fee. Just show up and have fun and fish for a good payout. I think it's a win for everyone, honestly. So I think I see it growing in the future for sure. That event got a lot of traction for the city of the state of Alabama and just, everyone involved in the area. So I don't know. I think it was a super cool deal. And I think they're doing it again in 26. So super cool to see what that turns into.
Absolutely. We've had a couple of guys mention that they thought it could eventually possibly become a tour. If they got 3 or 4 other states to, get together on the same page and put it together, it would be interesting.
It would be cool to see what that could turn into for sure.
We'll see. We'll see this year.
What is the new? There's a new buddy circuit.
It's
dual threat.
Yeah.
Dual threat. Yeah, that's paying like 100 for first.
Yeah, it's another super cool deal coming on. I mean, yeah, to fish stakes like that as a team, that'd be super cool. I thought about doing it, but I think the event at Eufaula, Oklahoma overlapped with classic practice for the elites. So that's the only reason I backed out. But, maybe in the future I'll do it if they keep doing it.
Are you fishing anything else other than the elites this year?
I'll probably jump into a couple opens. I know when we're in New York, there's an open that lies between our 2 elite events on Lake Erie. I'll probably do that one. Kentucky Lake, there's an open. I may do that one as well. Just jump into a couple opens, and then I'm sure I'll be doing plenty of local stuff around the house and, just around really whatever I can get into.
Awesome. You can come fish the Frank Stone Memorial Tournament if you want. Danny's looking for a partner.
Well, yeah,
I'd love to. When is it?
August
August 2nd,
I
1st.
may be in Minnesota.
August
Oh, I won't
1st.
be in Minnesota. It's the weekend before Champlain, I think.
Ah,
I'll probably be putting some miles on when you guys are fishing.
Yeah, probably so.
so when you travel, are you an Airbnb guy? Do your own cooking, or do you guys go out, or both?
I did my fair share of hotels during college. I think I'm done with that. I'm an
Yeah,
Airbnb guy now.
yeah. It gets and it's
Except when
there
it
comes
comes
a
to grand.
time where there comes a time in your life when going out to eat is something you don't want to do.
Oh, I'm there already. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to come off the lake and throw something on the grill real quick and eat it and chill.
Yeah, once my boat's at the house, I don't want to. I think I want to stay in for the night for sure. But yeah, I there's just something about a home cooked meal, no matter how simple it is, over going out to eat. So yeah,
Definitely.
I'm already at that stage.
When you're traveling down the interstate and you see that sign, that billboard, the next exit, and you think, "Oh man, I've got to stop." Where are you stopping?
Gas station wise or food wise?
Either.
If it's food wise, it's Chick-fil-A. If I'm gonna stop for food, it's gonna be Chick-fil-A. Uh, gas station wise, I'm big on quick trips. I don't know if they're that far west.
We
Do you
have some.
guys?
Kansas had some quick trips. I
Yeah,
think.
Now, are
yeah.
you talking
Oklahoma,
QT, Quick Trip,
QT.
or
QT or with a K, they're both good.
because with the K, that's a northern thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's around.
Mhm.
That's Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. Yeah, they're all good. If it's a quick trip, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Good and good for you.
Ooh, I
Maybe.
don't know about that. They're usually convenient. That's all. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I'm going to hit you with my last goofy question. Craziest thing you have seen on sonar screen that you couldn't explain, or it was just a weird deal, or maybe a funny thing, just something that sticks out. Craziest thing you ever saw.
Um, I guess on the Lanier, there's a cemetery. There's an underwater cemetery. So, and I idled over that. So that was kind of eerie to see on side imaging.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably the weirdest one for me.
No sunken UFOs, nothing like that.
No UFOs, just lots of boats, couple cars. I found a couple cars, but no UFOs.
Those cars are what those 6 foot catfish live in, and
Mhm.
roll the windows up on your line
Mhm.
that everybody's grandpa told them.
On the cemetery, was the ground flat, or was there like little indentions, like where the graves were?
No, it was flat.
So they were still there.
Oh,
They must be, yeah. I didn't even go that much in depth on it. Yeah.
I
well,
mean,
now you did.
I've seen some, or I've heard of where they've like covered like a lake. There was a cemetery, but they took the people out before they covered the lake, and there were some like indentions where they dug
Mm-hmm.
them up. I've heard
Hmm,
of that before.
interesting. I
Mhm.
mean, that very well could be the case. This was freshman year of college, I think, but yeah, very
Where was
eerie.
that at? Where was that at?
Lanier.
Lanier.
Yep.
Have you heard Brandon's UFO story?
I have not.
Hmm. You'll have to ask him about it. He was on the show. Where was it? Was it Erie?
Well, it seemed he never really said for sure, but that's
Hmm.
what we thought it was.
I thought it was Lake Erie,
Yeah, we were pretty sure he was talking about Lake Erie.
but it might have been Ontario.
And finding this big 200 feet across perfect circle,
That's a
kind of
big
a
circle.
dome shaped thing under the
with like
ground or
with like
underwater.
with like spokes on it, like a giant 200-foot wagon wheel. And when uh you could see the like windows or something in it.
Well, he dropped a camera down there.
And then in the middle, he dropped a camera. Or no, first he dropped his like a drop shot down the middle of this and let out all his line on the whatever reel he was throwing, and it never stopped. Right down through the middle.
It went to the knot.
That's weird.
It's
Really weird.
Yeah, you have to ask him about it sometime. That's
I
what
don't know about
started
that.
these questions.
yeah, that's been a year now of asking everybody that comes on what the strangest thing they've seen on screen because of that story. We have heard some doozies, and
Mhm.
some I'm very thankful to have not seen on screen. Um, and some of the stories that accompanied.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing too crazy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I hope not to.
Well, brother, we kept you on over an hour. Um, if you need to go, just say, "Hey guys, I need to go."
Oh, it's all good. I'm having a good time.
Well, if you don't need to go, then we can talk a little more.
Yeah,
Uh, I want to talk a little more live scoping because I'm trying to learn. First of all, when I'm learning, I have to pick the calmest day that there is because I can't. My biggest issue is staying on the fish or whatever when the boat's moving and keeping the keeping it pointed in the right direction. What is there a common mistake or maybe just a tip that you can tell somebody that's trying to learn what they really need to focus on and what how the best way to learn is?
I mean, the best way to learn is just to put your time in with it. I mean, honestly, the biggest thing I see people using it for the first time do wrong is they'll be, looking around on it. They'll see something, take their foot off the pedal, look at it, and then cast. By the time you do all that and actually make your cast, for one, the fish is probably moved, and two, your boat's moving. So you're probably misaligned some way. So what I tell people is when you're looking around, driving around, doing whatever you're doing, your foot should not leave your trolling motor pedal until you're hooked up with a fish. And that'll help you big time, making sure you're seeing everything and just, it's a muscle memory is all it is. And, it
Mhm.
takes a long time to get the hang of it, but yeah, it just allows you to keep in line, keep contact with your bait and the fish a lot better. And allows you to make the right presentation.
So if I'm scanning around and I see what I think is a fish or a brush pile, I seem to have better luck so far with brush piles and just casting past it and bringing it over the brush pile or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm looking at it and I throw out there I guess I need to, as soon as I see it, I need to try to throw. Are you throwing like right on the fish? Are you throwing past it?
I mean, it just depends. Like if there's say there's current, for example, I'm gonna always throw it past it and make sure it washes, correctly, across whatever I'm throwing. But if it's just your average day, you're in a lake and you see a brush pile and there's a fish on it, I'll typically just throw right on the brush pile and let it dive bomb into it. At least I'll start doing that. And if I realize the fish aren't wanting that, then maybe I'll change. But usually I throw in that instance, I'll throw right on the fish.
Interesting. That's extremely hard for me to keep the. That's probably the biggest. That's my biggest issue is keeping on the fish or on whatever I'm looking at.
Oh, it's not easy.
No.
It takes a lot of time to get fluent and efficient with it.
Yeah. Do you find that it's like I'm trying to learn like or Wednesday I went. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday I went and it was dead calm all day. So I I did it a lot. I practiced with it a lot. But my mind is telling me I need some wind, so it's a double-edged sword. I'm thinking I need some wind, but I'm not good enough to keep my trolling motor on the fish or the brush pile when it's windy. I guess how do I do that? How do I is your trolling motor on high? Is it on just enough to keep you into the wind, or are you fishing into the wind? Are you fishing with the wind?
Um, when I'm fishing with wind, I'm always facing the wind, into the wind. I'm never drifting with the wind unless I'm casting on like a flat or something. But if it's like I'm throwing at a target, a brush pile, I'm always going to be facing into the wind. That's just, boat positioning is a thing that's not talked about nearly enough. And it's just impossible to accomplish the correct boat positioning if you're drifting with the wind trying to throw at a brush pile. I mean, you get one shot and, if you miss that shot, it's over with. So I'll always come up to it downwind, facing into the wind, and that just allows me to get the correct boat positioning that I need to and to fish, accurately. So, but yeah, if I have access to wind, I'm always going to fish in the wind. If there's a disturbance on the water surface, the fish just don't get to see your bait as good as if it's glass calm. So if I have wind, I'm always going to do my best to chase the wind and make sure I'm in the wind.
Very good. What do you are you what is your brand that you use? Are you a Garmin
Yeah, I got Garmin.
Humminbird? Do you have them all? What do you
I got
just
them all right now. I got Garmin, Lowrance, and Humminbird on my boat.
and why I see a lot of anglers that do that. Why do you do that? Why do anglers do that? Why do they not just stick with Garmin or Lowrance or Humminbird?
For me, it's just, Lowrance is just something that I'm super comfortable with, especially their side imaging and also their waypoint management. It's, you know, it's probably the best. Humminbird has gotten very good as well with their recent updates. Humminbird is now extremely good too. Um, but I choose to go with Lowrance this year. I got Humminbird for 360. With our non-forward facing tournaments, 360 will be crucial. It's always been a super powerful tool, but especially this year for us. And then Garmin for the live scope, they've always been the best since day one on their forward facing. So I mean, I just feel like I have the best of both worlds in every single category. And Lowrance has the best 2D imaging out of all the units, and 2D is probably one of my most utilized sonars. So, but yeah, just doing my best to make sure I have the best of all worlds in terms of technology.
So when you say Lowrance has the best 2D, I guess there's a lot of people that assume nobody uses 2D anymore. What do you use your 2D for?
I use 2D to identify if I'm on hard or soft bottom. That in conjunction with the side imaging is, it's the most powerful tool on my boat. If you ask me if I could have side imaging or forward facing, just one, I'm picking side imaging, 100%, just because it's just so efficient to find, fishy areas, whether it's, if there's bait around, if there's, if you can find rock piles, stumps, brush piles, and I would say, 3/4 of the time when I'm using live scope, all it's doing is complementing what I find on my side imaging. It just allows me to fish what I found on side imaging, that much more efficiently. And all it does, if I take forward facing away, I'm just not as efficient fishing that same stuff that I would be fishing still. So that's the way I look at it. That's the way I've always fished. Side imaging has been, my, most precious tool ever since I was a little tiny kid. I feel like that's the first thing that I mastered fishing on the Lowrance HDS 10, like a Gen 2, the old units. But yeah, it's definitely a tool that I've utilized, my whole life. And yeah, it's still the most powerful on my boat.
Out of on your practice days, how much of your practice day is just scanning?
It depends on the fishery. Like if you're on the Tennessee River in May, obviously it's gonna be a lot more scanning than fishing. But Sabine River, it's a lot more fishing than scanning. It all depends. Usually, I'd say it's roughly, you know, 30 to 50% of my practice period will be scanning. Um, Usually, I just fish to get a couple clues on what the fish are doing, and then I'll jump behind my side imaging and I'll just find more of that. So I call it I have enough ammo for the tournament, enough stuff in my back pocket to make sure I'm fishing fresh stuff all throughout the tournament. So it's kind of how I roll in most events, I would say.
That's awesome. I mean, that's probably less scanning than I would have thought, actually. I hear a lot of guys that do nothing but scan all day long, or maybe that's just what they say they do. Um,
I mean, it depends. Like I said, sometimes it's less,
depends
sometimes
on
it's more, but yeah.
depends on the fishery.
Hmm.
That's awesome. We have any more questions, Danny, from the
From
peanut gallery?
the peanut gallery?
Yeah.
No.
Could it be that we're making them all get on YouTube now and they're not on?
No, I think
Is everybody on?
we're asking the right things, maybe.
Oh, maybe we're covering it all. Maybe we're covering it all.
I mean, I didn't one time I didn't ask Easton if he's seen a Bigfoot or had an alien encounter.
I mean, he's
anything.
probably the one person we should ask. He's from Minnesota.
True.
I've not had a Bigfoot encounter.
Okay.
Do
Are
you
you a bow
believe it?
hunter?
What's that?
Are you a bow hunter?
I am.
Have you ever been in the tree in the dark in the morning and wondered what that noise was?
I have.
Now you're
Many
going
of
to
times.
Bigfoot when you're in the tree stand.
Oh, I think I've always believed in Bigfoot. I just never laid eyes on him. Seems to always be a squirrel when I finally get to see it.
Yeah, it sounds like an elephant, and it's this long when it gets to you.
Yep.
What do you say we let this guy go, Danny?
I agree, man. Dude,
He's
thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Two grouchy old men.
Don't forget our our promise
Oh yes.
that actually works. It's
Now
proof.
this is very important.
Mhm.
The next event you win, you have to come on our show first.
All right.
Now be careful now, because
Be careful now.
we're We're not Mercer now. He likes to,
Just jump on you.
yeah. Whenever you win a tournament like the Classic, he'll he'll expect you to come on there first. And if you want to go on there first, we won't mind.
This is totally a. We're kidding.
But
But last year, Tucker Smith was on this show 3 times because he kept winning, so he'd have to come back.
and who
Pat
else was on?
Flopper
Yep,
was on
Pat
this
Schlopper.
show 3 times last year because he kept winning and had to come back.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, they're regulars. We'd love to make you a regular as well. So,
I hope
but,
so.
but we want to wish you good luck. We'll be following you. We're always, uh, I'm always proud of the college guys that make it through
Absolutely.
there. Um, and we're especially proud of the Milford Lake guys that make it to the Elite Series.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah. So you know it's a special bond. You and Cody and Tucker. Special bond.
That's awesome.
Next time you see him, you're gonna go. You know what we have in common?
I will too.
We
Yeah.
fished Milford.
We had to go through that. We did it together. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. This was awesome.
Good
Thanks
luck
very
this
much.
year. Good luck this year. Win big. Proud of you. You're doing you're a good representative of the sport, and we'll be cheering you on.
I appreciate that, guys. Thanks again.
You bet. Have a
Good
good
luck,
night.
buddy.
Have a good one.
Yep.
See ya.
Super cool kid.
Yep.
And he's just young enough that he's still shy.
Yeah. I mean, that was a classic champion.
Yeah. Close to 500,000
Yeah.
last year. And
Yep.
we're getting 2-word answers there for the first little bit.
Yeah.
And they stare at us because he's what, 23? 23 or 24?
Yep.
Awesome young man. Glad
Yep.
that
Awesome. Great story. Easy to root for.
he is absolutely deadpan focused too.
Mhm.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised to see him win an Angler of the Year
I wouldn't either.
this year.
Yeah. Why not?
Wouldn't put it past him at all. I think him and Tucker are going to be right up near the top.
I would agree with that too. Not bad for a bunch of, or a couple of not very fancy old dudes on a Thursday evening.
Yep.
I was glad I could cover for you with your failing voice and cough and whatnot.
I still cough. Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
wondering who this one viewer is.
Which one?
I'm gonna have to look that one up. 8555. Hmm.
I don't know. Dave and Michelle?
Mm-hmm. Not sure. But that's cool.
Not sure either. She thinks she need, or oh, it's Dave.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
Yes. All right. Now, Dave, will you be at the Albert show?
I don't know if I'll be there or not, Danny. What are the hours?
2 to 7 on Friday and 9 to 6 on Saturday.
I can be there Friday. And maybe the last couple hours Saturday. Maybe.
All good. Things happen.
Yeah. I just was not thinking when I did that.
Well, since the cat's out of the bag.
I mean, if the weather's really crappy, then maybe we'll cancel. Like really crappy, like below freezing and nasty weather. Which it could be.
It could be. I hope not.
I
I hope the guys that want to fish can fish. Man,
Mhm.
that's the whole point of being at the boat show. You're at the boat show because you can't fish.
True. It would help the boat show's numbers, probably.
Yeah, true. But we will be there in some capacity on Friday and then all day Saturday. And I will be splitting my time with helping with the KBN youth casting event and wandering around and bugging people. We have a past guest that's going to be there.
Yep.
He's done okay for himself, Mr. Rick Clun. He'll be at the show.
Yeah.
Edwin Evers. A bunch of your regular co-viewers here on the show in the Four Corners area. We don't have anyone scheduled for next week that we know.
Not yet.
Not
Efforting.
yet.
I'm efforting.
So you never know.
There's a little short time when it's kind of hard to get people.
Oh, yeah.
Boat shows are all going on and they all have to be at the boat shows.
Sure.
So
running into kind of the same thing with our speaker at the KBN banquet. It misses 2 of the 3. The date misses 2 of the 3 tours, but it's also the weekend before practice starts for the Classic. So, yeah. Maybe we'll have John Stewart. Oh, no, you'll be at the ball game.
maybe. Maybe. I'm contemplating letting Brett take his son.
Interesting.
That'd be cool. I mean, I've been. Brett has never been. And Brooks loves basketball.
Oh, well, that would be a cool thing to do, Grandpa.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, let's get out of here and let you rest your voice.
Sounds like a plan.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to be on YouTube exclusively from now on.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Like and subscribe. And all that stuff.
Smash that button. Smash that like and subscribe button.
Wow.
It's free. Or we'll pay for it. Either way.
You know what? Maybe I need to make a video on how to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
I'll make a short.
There you go.
But seriously, guys, thanks for watching. A great show with Easton Fothergill. talk it up, share it with your buddies. You can always go back and watch it again and again and again. What's funny, I stopped to tell a story right in the middle of closing the show. So today,
Almost like me doing a rant right when we're trying to end.
yeah, that's all right. So rainy and cold. Well, it wasn't cold until late, but it super rainy day here in Hutch, and I wasn't working today. So I sit down to do some laptop stuff. I flip on the TV and I flip the Bassmaster channel just in time to watch Pat Schlopper go down that bank with a buzzbait again. Perfect timing. That just made my day, because that was out of the whole season, that was my favorite show. That was my favorite episode of the entire season, when he was catching fish on a buzzbait, because that just went back 20 years.
Awesome.
And then there's Patrick Walters, and John Cruz, all on Championship Sunday, and I had forgotten that.
Mm-hmm.
3 of the top 10 former guests of ours. Made my day. Pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
Bigger stuff coming in 2026. Like and subscribe. Catch you next week.
If you got a swimming pool, go get some physical therapy.
Yeah. Go get some physical therapy, because that turned out well.